What do you think when you're talking to these young people that are talking about their future? What do you think about what's happening with AI and the potential for AI to displace jobs? And these people that are investing their future and going to school and getting this job that might not even exist.
Yeah, totally fair. It's a big fear. So I'm going to start this part by saying I don't 100% want to listen to anyone that says they know what's going to happen. Because there's the doom and glooms that says everyone's job's going to go away. And then there's those that say it's going to create a shit ton of new jobs. I don't listen to any of them. No one knows what's on the other side of the hill of AI. But we do know AI is coming. So there is the best things to prepare for it. Trades, very smart. They've been smart for a while, but they're very smart with AI because it's probably not coming for an electrician job. Probably not. Degrees, in general, what degree you get in school has been one of the largest and most consequential decisions that people have been messing up for the past few years. And it's actually one of the leading causes for that gender wealth divide that is always talked about. When compared for the same job, same person, same experience, which is never compared in that study, it's actually 99%, very similar. But what we see oftentimes, and I feel bad for the women my age with this, is statistically they've gone and got lower paying degrees, and now degrees that are very susceptible to AI, which is going to be very damaging for a large group of people that are going to push them to become even more radical. But women have gone and borrowed a lot more money for degrees that provide a lot less return on investment, like sociology, psychology, the arts, things like that, where you can't maybe even get a job. You're going to be a barista, or if you are going to get a job, it's usually a lower paying job, where men have gone, we've fallen this thing in our society where men have always tried to go to that higher income side and give up a job they like for it. So they'll go into engineering, the maths, the sciences, even if they don't like it, or the trades, very labor intensive. And even though AI, they're susceptible to some things in tech there, it's always been higher paying. And that's what's made that gender wealth gap so heavy. That, and then women post-birth is the second highest leading cause. But when it comes to AI, people are already making the mistakes in the degrees they've been getting over the last 10 years. And now this is just going to accelerate that even further. When it comes to data entry jobs, things that are super easy, even unfortunately, who knows if we'll allow it for therapists, but it's getting there pretty quick. People are willing to trust AI way more than we thought. In these psychology degrees and whatnot, writing degrees, things that unfortunately that large sector has gotten, they're much more susceptible to AI, and I think it's going to lead to a lot more political radicalization, and that's what scares me more than anything.
Caleb Hammer. If you don't know Caleb, he's basically the millennial Dave Ramsey, enormously successful personal finance guru with one tiny detail missing. He doesn't have any qualifications whatsoever. Not in finance, not in business, not in anything close to it. He doesn't even have a degree. He dropped out of a music composition course the moment his YouTube channel started making money. Never worked a day in the financial industry either, which means legally, and I want to be really clear about this, what he does on that channel cannot be called financial advice, because he has no qualifications to give any. What Caleb Hammer actually is a man with a ring light and a loud voice who yells at broke people for sport. That is the business. That is the whole thing. And Joerogan, who has had presidents, scientists, and generals sitting in that chair, looked at that and thought, yeah, that's the guy I want. Explaining the economy to 15 million people. Get him in. Now ask yourself why. Because we are in the middle of one of the worst cost of living crises in modern history. Wealth inequality is at record highs. The rich are getting richer by the hour and everyone else is just getting buried. And Joe's response to that specific moment in history is to bring in a guy with no qualifications to tell struggling people that struggling is their fault. We are losers to them. That is the operating assumption underneath every single second of this episode. We are the people who made bad choices and need to be lectured about drive-thrus by someone who cleared $10 million last year doing exactly that, right?
So when you are explaining to these people that a car that's just a few years old is just as good as a car that's now, does anybody go, you're right? Or is it like a natural inclination? Like, is this just this thing that they want, a status symbol that's in their head that they need at 2026?
People are very defensive on the show. I can convince them of smaller things. Getting rid of a car in our culture is usually a big thing to overcome. But I'll see weeks later that they sat on it, they thought about it. Then the video went uploaded and millions of people shit all over them in the comments. And they're like, okay, maybe I should get rid of this car. So some people actually, many people do change their perspective on cars. But that's a hard one to overcome. Telling them to close a credit card, it's kind of easy. Car's a big one. I've told people to not get a house, and they're really close to getting a house. That's something they will not give up, because that's another obsession that we have in our country.
So would you say not get a house today because of interest rates?
Not just interest rates. The overall marketplace, S&P 500, it just beats real estate. Commercial real estate's good to get for tax advantages, but the American dream isn't owning a home anymore. It's the freedom of renting, because you can live wherever you want. You can move for a job like that. Getting a house, you're stuck in a house. It requires a massive amount of money for a down payment, and it's just a lack of flexibility in a generation and age where people want to be more flexible and travel and explore and take new jobs everywhere. But it also just doesn't make sense as an investment anymore. It doesn't.
The home ownership thing. Pay attention here, because this is one of the single biggest contradictions I have ever seen on JRE. And as you know, that is a very competitive field. Caleb explains that the American dream of owning a home is dead. Renting is the new freedom. S&P 500 beats real estate every time. People who want to own a home are being irrational. That's just feelings. Math is math. And then, in the same breath, I own. But it was very affordable for me. It made sense for me. He owns a home. The man telling 15 million people that wanting to own a home is financially irrational owns a home. Bought it when it was affordable. At an interest rate that doesn't exist anymore. In a market that doesn't exist anymore. And his suggestion for what you should do instead? Rent from corporations. Because, and this is his actual argument, out loud into a microphone, corporations fix your sink faster than individual landlords. That's it. That's the new American dream. You will own nothing. You will rent from BlackRock. You will be grateful the maintenance request was processed within 48 hours. We are way too poor to be the people this advice was designed for. But here's the bit that should have ended the whole conversation right there. Because at the very start of this same episode, before he gets anywhere near the renting speech, Caleb explains to Joe that real estate is actually one of the greatest stores of wealth ever devised. That billionaires park money in property across multiple countries because it's a rock-solid asset that holds value across generations. Just so we're all completely clear on the rules here, real estate is a terrible idea, a prison for the soul, a waste of money. Unless you're rich. In which case it's a rock-solid asset you should be hoarding across 3 continents. They are too busy smelling each other's farts to notice they've just delivered completely opposite advice to 2 different classes of people in the same episode without blinking once.
I don't know, men just go to the higher paying degrees. I don't know if it's just something in our culture where men feel like they need to be a breadwinner or whatnot.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering, if that's what it is, the need to be a provider, and the thinking like these low-paying jobs are not going to be able to give me any money.
Yeah.
How am I going to provide? How am I going to have a family? How am I going to pay the bills?
Yeah,
Whereas
but now men are starting to kind of fall off that platform, though.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've been watching the trends, but now it's closer to like 65% of new degree holders are women, and men are just not going to college anymore. Some of them are,
65%, really?
It's pretty crazy. It's like 60 or 65%.
Wow.
It's getting pretty intense, and
well, what are men doing instead?
there's a lot of losers. There are a lot of losers. Where they're not getting any education, they're not looking for any kind of job, they're not even collecting unemployment, they're literally just sitting on their ass. That is a big cohort of people right now.
What do you think what's causing that?
There is a lot of the red pill victim mentality. I don't know if I want to fully enable it, but I mean, maybe there's some justification a little bit, but they think that everything's against them. They think that DEI specifically was preventing them from going to work or preventing them from going to school, that schools politically captured. There's a survey done that of people that were choosing not to go to college. 30% said that it's because, 30 or 40% said it was because college was becoming too politically captured. So there is that. Then they don't have jobs, they don't have skills, they don't have experience, so it's harder to get a job. It's easier to just kind of sit at mom's home, play video games, do drugs.
Jesus, that's bleak.
It's bleak.
Now here's the degrees thing, and this one's deliberate. Joe and Caleb spend a good chunk of this explaining that university is basically a scam. Degrees don't mean intelligence. The wealthiest Americans are dropouts. Harvard costs a fortune. Watch YouTube, do a trade. And look, some degrees genuinely are a terrible investment. Nobody argues with that, but watch what they actually do with it. Because this is a very specific trick called the Mott and Bailey fallacy. The Mott is the safe, defensible claim. Some degrees are a bad investment. Nobody can argue with that. But the Bailey is the fat, stupid claim they slip in right after. University is a scam. Just learn it off YouTube. And the way you get away with moving from the safe one to the stupid one is really simple. You only ever talk about the safe one. You never name the jump you're making. Here's how you know it's a trick. Not once do they mention engineering, medicine, law, nursing, the actual professional degrees, the ones you can't learn from an audiobook. And why would they? Because 5 minutes earlier, Caleb explained that America desperately needs highly skilled, educated immigrants to fill exactly those jobs. So the full message, assembled the way it was never meant to be, is Americans, don't bother with university. But also, we desperately need educated professionals, so we'll just fly them in. You're not meant to put those two sentences next to each other. They're counting on you not to notice. And Joe's go-to example of an overpriced university. Harvard. He goes straight to Harvard, one of the most expensive, most prestigious institutions on the planet. Not exactly your average university experience, if you know what I mean. That's the whole Mott and Bailey thing right there. Grab the most extreme example you can find and use it to prove a general statement. Rogan does this constantly. It's practically his entire show. The boomer math. Caleb throws out $2 to $5 million. Joe pulls it up on Perplexity AI. 15 million people hear it and walk away thinking every boomer should be a multimillionaire if they weren't so irresponsible. The actual number, using real Social Security Administration wage data and real S&P 500 historical returns, is closer to $930,000 for consistent 10% investment from 1990. Still substantial. Still makes the compound interest point. But Caleb inflated it by up to 5 times on the biggest podcast on Earth, and Joe confirmed it with a search engine, and nobody checked. The man with no financial qualifications gave a number potentially 5 times too high, and the man with a direct line to the president nodded and went, "Wow, this is the financial literacy content you are being served. We are way too poor to deserve better, apparently." Here's the thing. Neither of them will ever say. Neither of them got where they are by following their own advice. Joe landed a Disney development deal in the 90s, got onto Fear Factor, started a podcast before anyone knew what one was, then scored a $250 million Spotify deal. Caleb caught a YouTube algorithm wave at exactly the right moment and dropped out of his degree. Neither of them rented forever and skipped holidays and disciplined their way up a ladder. They were in the right place at the right time and caught waves that don't exist anymore. And now they're standing at the top of those waves selling you the ladder they never had to climb themselves. We are losers to them. We are the case studies. The people who made bad choices and have bad outcomes and need to be told by a $10 million dropout to stop going to drive-thrus.
And the gender wars are horrendous right now. I don't know if you see any of it online, but the gender wars are horrible.
The gender wars.
Oh, yeah. Young women just being so anti-men and young men being so anti-women and cheering against each other. It's horrible. It is horrible.
Like uniquely new? Like this is
much more than ever before.
What do you think is causing that?
A lot of it started 2016 election. A lot of women got very angry that Trump was elected. And they followed something that happened in South Korea as well, where the women said, no men, no dating, no sex. There was a term for it, but they cut off everything. And there was a little bit of that movement after the 2016 election here in the United States as well. It didn't gain as much traction, but this is very divisive. And it goes back to the algorithm that we were talking about earlier as well. A lot of people get put in those echo chambers where you need to have a villain, and the men are the villain or the women are the villain. The women are the reason men aren't doing well. The men are the reason women aren't doing well. The men have been holding us back forever. They've been, keeping us in the kitchen and everything like that. It used to be the defining trait of the middle class and one of the largest wealth creating things for the middle class. But now with the incredible stock market that we've had over the past 50 years or so, it beats it every time. If you rent and just put in your money into the stock market instead of that down payment on a house or the little extra for a mortgage, you'll win every time. And then you get stuck. Let's say you got the good interest rate. Everyone with the good interest rate is stuck right now because they're not willing to trade up for a house they actually want, but with a higher interest rate. So homes become like these people's prisons. You can buy a home, that's great. If you know you're going to stay somewhere and it's what you've ever always wanted, there's nothing wrong with doing it, but it is not that actually incredible financial thing that has defined America. That being said, Americans suck at investing. So if the only way for you to invest is put your money in a house that you literally cannot touch, maybe it makes sense. Because if instead you need to put an extra 20% of the market if you rent, but Americans just want to go spend that on a vacation, then maybe you're better off in a house because you need that forced investing.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people don't feel secure unless they own the home. They don't feel like settled. This is not really my place. I'm just renting it.
Yeah, which is true. But I mean, I just tell them to fuck off. That's your feelings.
Yeah.
I mean, that is just their feelings.
Right.
Like, I don't know. Math is math in the end. Like, I own, but that's because it was very affordable for me. It made sense for me. But it doesn't have to for everyone.
Right.
And that's okay. In renting, you don't have to do maintenance. You don't have to get a new roof. You don't have to, deal with the AC going out and all this stuff. If you're renting for, especially even like larger corporations, they're actually even better to rent for than a mom and pa because they'll have someone on standby that'll fix your shit overnight. Or a mom and pa landlord, it kind of sucks. It might take a couple weeks.
Right. If they're not good.
The same man who moved from California to Texas, publicly, explicitly, on record, to dodge the tax on his Spotify money, is now nodding along while Caleb explains that making billionaires pay their fair share is a slippery slope towards Soviet communism. He is the billionaire not paying his full share. He moved states to avoid it. He is the example being defended. Funny how that works. Discipline only makes sense if there's a prize at the end. The suburb their parents bought for $200,000 is $900,000 now. The entry-level job their parents got out of college pays the same in real terms as 30 years ago. The pension their parents retired on doesn't exist. And Caleb Hammer is looking at that generation from his home that was very affordable for him going, math is math. That's just your feelings. I don't want to see you in a drive-thru. Joerogan really does think you're stupid, and he brought a dropout with a YouTube channel to prove it, then moved to Austin to save money on the deal.
I have a Cadillac, the Escalade V.
Yeah.
It has a carbon fiber dash. I love looking at them. Look at all that carbon fiber.
It's cool. It looks cool.
Space.
Yeah.
Looks future.
I have carbon fiber trim on things.
Fuck yeah, have it. I had my GT3 RS, my 2007. I had all the interior pieces replaced with carbon fiber.
Did you really? Yeah. Looks cool.
Door latches, everything. Yeah. It's lighter.
It's lighter.
Now
it goes faster.
By 5 pounds?
I know.
For the whole car. It's stupid. But it's like there's something cool about the way it looks.
It looks cool, especially in a submersible. It looks really cool.
Seen that company, Classic Recreations, that does a 67 Mustang all in carbon fiber?
No.
Bro. It's fucking sick. It's like a $500,000 car, at least. And it takes a long time to make, but it's all one-piece carbon fiber shell. So it's super light. And they'll make it with like a supercharged Coyote engine, so it's like 770 horsepower, and it probably weighs under 3,000 pounds.
Oof.
It looks fucking sick. Oh, yeah. It's got to be really fast. Well, even if you had a steel one, 67s are not that big. It's not a big car. That's like a 3,000-pound car. Dude, I had a guy pull me over, and then he recognized me and let me go. But he pulled me over and said that I crossed the white line. And I was like, what? And he goes, he followed me like the moment I left where I was at. Mm-hmm. He was on my ass like immediately. So I saw I crossed the white. Like, so I was in my little loud BMW, my little E46. Mm-hmm. And it's, probably like, look at this douchebag.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
He's probably drunk.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I was completely sober. But he pulls me over and he's like, I saw you cross the white line back there. I go, really? I go, okay. I go, I don't think I did, and he goes, Joerogan? And then they're like, oh, I'm just looking for drunks. I'm like, okay, well, I'm not drunk.
So he was just going to try to see if you were.
I think they have a quota. And I think, like, they have to fucking make arrests. And maybe they pull you over and they realize you're not drunk, and so they just inconvenience you for 5 minutes and they let you go.
I had one of those.
I've had that happen before.
Yeah.
I dropped my phone once when I was on the highway in LA.
Yeah.
And I reached down in between my legs to pick up my phone, and I must have, like, moved to one, and then all of a sudden, whoop, whoop. Yep. I'm like, okay. I got out. I got to do the whole thing and touch my nose, the whole deal.
This guy the cop accused me of trying to ditch him, too. He's like, you tried to ditch me. And I was like, what? He goes, you took a right here. And I was like, that's because I'm going this way. Like, I made a right because I'm going this way. He's like, where are you going? I was like, I'm going to my mom's house. He was like,
Where she live?
yeah, I was like, up here, then a left. And he was like, all right. He's like, I don't know, man. He tried to get away.
One time, this guy in a truck didn't see me and totally turned into my lane, and I had to go into the. I was in a Tesla. Luckily, it was fast, so I avoided it and shot back into my lane ahead of him. But it was like this guy came like inches away from hitting me, and I had to go into the opposite lane to pass him. And then but there was no one in the opposite lane. But I did it, and then all of a sudden the lights come on, and he goes, I saw you pass that guy back there, and he goes, you smell like liquor. I go, I haven't drank a single drop of alcohol. I do not. He goes, you smell like liquor. I go, no, I don't. And he goes, Joerogan? I go, yeah. I go, what are you doing, man? I go, go look at your you have a camera, right, on your car? I go look at what happened. And so he looks at it. I go, that guy almost fucking hit me. And he goes, oh, I just saw it. Yeah, he almost hit you. And he goes, hey, man, I love the UFC. I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah, cool.
But like, you were pretending I was drunk.
Yeah.
You're pretending you smelled liquor.
Somebody else would have had a real hard time with that.
The I smelled liquor was infuriating. I'm like, come on, dude. I'm coming.
So upsetting.
Joe gets into his BMW, gets followed by a cop the moment he leaves, gets pulled over, says he doesn't think he crossed the white line, and the cop goes, Joerogan. Oh, sorry, man. I'm just looking for drunks. And lets him go. Joe tells this as a fun little story. Immediately after 45 minutes of Caleb explaining that your outcomes in life are determined by your personal choices and individual discipline, a cop profiled his car, followed him without cause, stopped him without cause, released him without cause because he recognized his face. We are way too poor and way too anonymous to get the fun anecdote version of that interaction. We get the other version. Joe gets the story he tells on his podcast. Funny how that works.